Good morning and welcome back to the channel. It's a beautiful summer morning here. And for those of you familiar with the channel, you might recognize this area from video number 8, when I was back here picking all the way along this green area. You can see it's changed a little bit since then. Everything's grown up a lot. All the grass is much longer. And this is one of our kind of regular litter picking routes. It's looking pretty good at the moment. This morning we're going to go for a little walk down this woodland path. And I did mention this path back in that video and how there was always rubbish down there. We actually came here for a group litter pick back in April, and we did pick up a lot of stuff. It was really quite depressing actually, because it's such a beautiful walk. And I came back down here probably at the end of April, just for a walk around the loop. And I managed to fill one bag to the brim. Look at this, guys, a little bottle of Australian Shiraz wine. This, unfortunately, as you'll see, despite being an absolutely beautiful woodland path, it gets quite a lot of antisocial behavior. People come down here and they drink their beer and their wine and various other things, and they just dump all of the rubbish in the trees. A hard seltzer there. It's now the middle of June. It's been about a month and a half since I last walked through here and actually picked up litter. We're going to see how much litter has accumulated here in a month and a half. Unfortunately, as I say, some antisocial behavior down here. But having said that, I don't think that there's going to be, masses of litter. I think it's just going to be cleaning up a few kind of drinking hotspots. Hopefully it's going to be more of a relaxing walk through the woods. You can listen to all the early morning birdsong. And we'll get this nature area just completely cleaned up, so it's nice for all the animals. There's something hiding down here. Chicken and chorizo. Yeah, I was just thinking back to when I made that video back at the start of this trail, back in April. And it was so cold back then. There was frost on the ground. I think I was moaning about how my hands were cold. But my hands are like ice. It's so cold. Some plastic. Ooh, dog poo bag. Another dog poo bag there, look. But yeah, it's definitely a different story this morning. I'm walking around with a t-shirt on at like 6:30 in the morning, even here in the shade in the woods. It's feeling nice and warm. I've probably mentioned it in previous videos, we're currently going through one of the driest years that we've had in a long time. It's certainly the driest spring that we've had in decades. But we're into June now and it's been starting to get really warm. It's very unusual for a British summer. Oh, I'm finding plenty of stuff here actually. Look at this. If you go back and watch that video 8 again, it was the Malibu person who's coming through here and drinking their Malibu pina colada cans. I found so many of them in this area in the past now. Just specifically in this area. There is someone that lives around here and I reckon they're just coming out most nights, having a can of pina colada and dumping it in the woods. It's quite funny, isn't it? We're starting to get to know my regulars in the area, aren't I? We've got the Caramel Wafer Bandit Man. We've got the Whiskey Bottle Man. We've got the Red Bull Drinkers. And then specifically in this area, we've got the Malibu Pina Colada. Right, someone here has had a proper session on San Miguel Lager. We got the box, we got 2 cans, can of Stella, got another can of San Miguel, got another can of Pina Colada, another miniature bottle of white wine, another Pina Colada. Oh man, there's actually quite a lot back here. Okay, another bottle of white wine, Jack Daniels, wine. This is the spot, isn't it, guys? This is where they're regularly hanging out. San Miguel, San Miguel, San Miguel. Another wine there. Oh, the only thing this time of year, walking through these woods, there's spiders' webs hanging everywhere. I keep getting them all over my face. I can't believe how many of these little mini wine bottles there are lying around here. Oh, that really upsets me actually, that there's people around here who are, they must be coming in here regularly into these woods and drinking, which, okay, I don't really care, that's fine, do what you want to do, but then tossing all these cans. I mean, what do they think happens to all this rubbish? They think it's just going to sit there in the woods. Do they not care? They have absolutely no understanding of nature, no care for the world around them, no care for their community, for the animals. I do try to keep a positive outlook on these things, otherwise it just brings you down. But it's hard to feel positive when you've seen all of that. But we're going to keep plugging away anyway. I think that was one of the worst kind of spots around here. I really wasn't expecting to find that much, to be honest, but that must be the kind of main drinking spot along here. I mean, look in this bag, it's all those San Miguel cans. Got quite a few of those wine bottles in there now, which has weighed it down a bit. I really wasn't expecting to find that much along here so quickly. I was actually going to say that from previous experience down here, it's the latter stage of this path that's usually the worst. So the fact I've already got all of this here, makes me wonder what I'm going to find later on. But let's keep plugging away. Let's see what we can get. Let's make sure we just get this whole area cleaned up and looking how it should again. I feel like we're quite lucky to have these kind of natural green areas around here. I mean, the other side of this fence is an industrial estate. And then running parallel on the other side, there's this enormous new build housing development. There's thousands of houses in there. But they maintained this kind of corridor of woodland all the way around the perimeter. And we're so lucky to have these green spaces. Loads of kids come and play here from the estate. You get a lot of people walking their dogs along here. I mean, it's just a nice, even though you're kind of in an urban area, it's a kind of peaceful green space where you can relax, switch off a bit. And the last thing that you want when you're walking through here is to find, you know, the leftovers from someone's massive party. So yeah, I was talking a little bit about the climate before and how it's been so incredibly dry this year. Liz and I have been trying to grow vegetables in our garden for the first time this year. And it's a really fun experience, actually. If you've not grown fruit or veg before, highly recommend it. It's very satisfying. Well, it's going to be even more satisfying once we get to harvest the vegetables later on in the year. But it's been a really tricky year to try it out because it's just been so dry. Okay, we've got what looks like quite an old red Coca-Cola can here. It's hidden right in these bushes. This can be a challenge for the video. Right, can I get through there? This is when my grabber comes in so handy. But I'm stuck in brambles here. It's just out of reach. Try and get it from this side. There's a plastic bottle in there too, actually. Got the bottle, that's still full of water. Sorry, I know the view isn't fantastic when I do that. But there we go, we got it. It's the can. And there's also a dog poo bag. I'm going to empty this out so I don't have to have all that water way down the bag. How old was the can in the end? 2023. It's very faded, so it looked a bit older than it was. But yeah, guys, it's hard to grow plants when you're lacking the water. We have quite a few big water butts in the garden that collect up all the rainwater. And we've been using that when it's been dry, but they're all completely empty now. I'm having to go out in the evenings now and spray the garden with the hose. Oh man, there's a bag of... What is all this? It's heavy. It's a takeaway. That's a Mexican takeaway by the looks of things. Heavy, full of stuff. All the old containers. There was a glass bottle in there too. Just going off on a quick tangent on this one, but I'm always trying to find ideas and ways to actually prevent people from littering in the first place, make my job easier. But when you've got somebody with that mentality that can have a takeaway and a few drinks and thinks that it's then normal to leave it in the woods, what can I do earlier on in that pathway before they get to that point to stop them from dropping it there? I mean, obviously education. I mean, there's a couple of main entrances to this woodland. Is it worth putting a sign at either end? You know, tying it around a tree. Maybe something with like a nature-oriented message saying, you know, please be respectful of this wildlife area and take your rubbish home. I mean, would that work, do we think? I don't know, let me know in the comments if you've got any bright ideas on what we could do to reduce the littering in the first place. Perhaps there's something that you've implemented in your area that's helped to reduce it a little bit. I'd love to know. It's all well and good me going out doing these videos all the time and getting more people involved and making these videos. I mean, it's really good fun. I love sharing all of this stuff and all these weird different locations that we go to. But in an ideal world, I'd love to start reducing some of this litter at source. So what can be done? As I was saying, we've run out of the rainwater and I've been using the hose to feed everything. The plants are doing pretty well, I have to say. We're only growing a few crops to start with. We've got a few rows of potatoes. And they're looking really good actually. They're all in flower at the moment. And then a few rows of onions. Put in some carrots and some beetroot as well. Looking forward to that. Morning. Then in our greenhouse we're growing some peppers and some cucumbers. I'm really looking forward to those this year. The cucumbers are one where I'm like a lot more actively involved, because things like the potatoes, you can kind of just plant them and mound up the earth around them, make sure they're watered, and that's about it. You just leave them to do their thing. But the cucumbers, because of the space in the greenhouse, I've got about 8 plants on the go, and I'm trying to train them up to grow vertically instead of horizontally across the ground, just to optimize the space. So I've got them trained up some strings. Oh, in case you're wondering, there is a bin right here. This is one of the main kind of cut-throughs between the industrial estate here and then another older housing estate here. So we're on the far side now. We're actually getting towards the end of this route. I'm actually going to use it, just a little pro tip here when you're litter picking. Find a big half-empty bin like this, just to unload some of my heavier stuff, some of these glass bottles. Put that takeaway in there. And that rubbish is ending up exactly where it was supposed to go in the first place. And it makes my job a little bit easier on this final stretch. It's not quite as heavy to carry it all around with me. Getting back to the cucumbers, it's the more important matter at hand, obviously. Yeah, I've been going in and checking in on them pretty much every day, just making sure that it's not too hot in the greenhouse and they're not drying out, making sure they're getting watered. I usually water them every evening, but also helping to kind of train them up the string. They don't all kind of automatically know where to go. You kind of have to wind the string around the main stem just to help it train up. And it's working really well. They're all kind of, I'd say they're getting to about 1 foot in height so far. Plenty of leaves on there. Right, what have we got here? At least someone's bagged it all up. Packet of tobacco, 3 cans of Omega beer, a couple of bottles of Cruz Campo lager. One of the worst lagers that Spain produces. But for some reason it's all the rage over here. I think I've said in a previous video, actually, I used to live in Spain. And yeah, they do make some lovely beers over in Spain, but Cruz Campo is not one of them. Wouldn't recommend it. It's beautiful this morning. It's just starting to warm up. Hopefully you've been able to enjoy a little bit of the bird song in the background and all this beautiful scenery around here. I mean, apart from the fenced off industrial estate and the housing estate, it is nice here though, once you're in the trees. I mean, look at this, this is just lovely. Well, I said that this would be possibly the worst part of the path, but it's, thankfully I've been proven wrong. At least up till now, it's not been as bad on this side. We're almost coming to the exit now. What is that? Looks like a frisbee. think it is, but it's broken. Right, we've made it to the exit. And look, right on cue. Loads of rubbish. Good morning. Some of this will be, some of this will just be waste from people's bins along here. It gets blown out or pecked out by birds. Loads of tissues. Oh, I think these might be wet wipes actually. Yeah, this is another area that you would recognize from video 8 because I walked from where I was at the start of the video down there all the way along the green area to here. I think this is where I finished at the houses. I found loads of stuff down here actually. I'm hoping that it's not going to be too bad for my walk back to the start. Loads of wet wipes. Anyway, we got them all up, so that's good. Yeah, it was just under this tree line here where I was finding all the stuff before. That was a couple of months ago and it's looking a million times better now actually. Yeah, there's nothing there. What it probably was, it's probably like a load of rubbish that had blown out from people's bins on this street and then the wind had pushed it into this fence. That's why it was so bad before, but not really seeing any rubbish along here. So that's it guys, that's the end of our woodland trail. I'm just going to walk my way back to the start point here and I'll leave this bag by the bin. Just got a couple of things out in these bushes. Got a slug infested beer can, a bottle of WKD Blue. That's a nice way to start the day. I'll keep you posted on the garden if that's something that you're interested in. Let me know if you'd like to hear more about my cucumbers, and I'll keep you updated, let you know how they go this summer. Yeah, I suppose this will be one of the last videos before we go away to the States. Might be able to fit in another one before we go, but until then, thanks for joining me on this amazing sunny morning. And wherever you are in the world, be well. And we'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching.